Morning guys, how are you? Joe here. Just taking the Sony out for the first shoot. I wanted to apologise obviously for the low budget look on this one. I just wanted to get information out there, and it takes me like half an hour to set up for a proper video, so I really couldn't be bothered to do that just to get my thoughts out on the A7 II at this point. So hopefully you guys can look past that. So a few questions. First thing, focus peaking has been coming up a lot. So if I show you Sony, turn on time is this. So it's really not that bad. I mean, people are always saying, yeah, it takes ages, but it's really not that bad. Focus peaking, when you're in manual, which, let me check, am I in? Yeah, I'm in manual focus now. You can see that when you move the focus, you get this red shimmer that goes through things. And that shimmer is essentially showing you exactly what's in focus. So when you focus on things, it's really quick. So the bonus of having the Sony is that you can get little adapters like this. This one is made by Canon Concept, and it's to move over Minolta lenses to the Sony E mount, essentially. This thing is solid. It cost me 10 quid, so for Americans, probably about 15 bucks or something. It's solid. Like, I feel like I could throw this at a brick wall, and other than a chip in it, it would be fine. It's literally just made out of metal, so it feels solid to me. Battery life, another thing people have been on about. The batteries are tiny. I mean, really small. It's not even as long as my thumb. It's a small battery. I managed on the shoot, considering I was on full brightness as well, and I was using the back panel, we went for about 178 shots, I think it was, and by the time I got home, after reviewing the images a few times while we were eating some lunch, etc. as well, I ended with about 40% battery, and I think that was about an hour and a half worth of a shoot. So I believe you would probably get 2 to 3 hours of battery life out of it, and probably just shy of 300 shots if you're using it in bright weather. I think it would be better. I don't know how much better, but I think it'd be a fair bit better if you had the brightness turned down on everything and it wasn't in a studio environment, or if it was not so bright outside. Yeah, batteries, they're about 7 quid, so £7, probably about $10 or something to get a battery. So Amazon, I just bought 4 of them for like 20 quid or something. It's really cheap, and they came with a charger as well, which Sony doesn't actually provide. Actually, it does provide a charger, but it provides a charger for you to charge the battery while it's still in the camera, as opposed to having an external battery charger, which they want you to pay for, but you can get them on Amazon really cheap, so it's not really a biggie. How did it feel to use on the shoot versus the Canon 6D, which is what I've come from? I feel like the focus system is better than any DSLR I've used to date. It's not as fast, focusing wise. It does feel slower, but a 6D with an 85 1.2 on it, it's a shit ton faster than that. So it's fast enough for what I need. Would I use it for sports? Would I trust it for sports? I don't think so. I don't think I would. Would I trust it for portraits? The shoot I just did, I think I had 2 shots out of 170 odd where it focused on the flowers and not her face, and that was when the flower was in front of her face. So focusing wise, and that was using iFocus as well. The iFocus works very well. It's a tiny bit temperamental. I would say iFocus works about 75 to 80% of the time, as in it will pick up the eye, but when it does, it's flawless. It nails it. So it doesn't really seem to be it picks it up inaccurately. It seems to be it either just doesn't work, for example if someone's eyes are closed, or it just works amazingly. I haven't had any issues with it. Trying to think what else to go through. Battery life, handling the weight. The weight is, it's lighter than the Canon with a 6D setup, but I wouldn't call it light. I think if you put a different lens on it, because I'm using the 85 1.4 GM, I think if you took that lens off and put something more portable on, you'd have a very, very light camera. I think this lens just adds a lot of bulk to a pretty compact system. Things I don't like, the electric viewfinder, the functionality of it wins out over the actual like of it. For example, it still has a slight, when you're kind of moving, it has a slight stuttery type look to it. If you're moving around, not really an issue for portraits, but if you're just kind of scouting around, shooting things, I don't really like the way it feels because I'm very sensitive to motion on digital imagery, screens, etc., refresh rates, all that stuff. So it's a tiny bit stuttery. It's not perfect, but it's not enough of an issue to outweigh the benefits that using the electric viewfinder give you. What else? Brightness and sunlight. If you put it onto sunny weather brightness, it's fine. You can see outside just fine. I had to cup my eye while using the electric viewfinder, but I didn't for the back panel. However, for the 6D, I had to do the same anyway, so I'm not really sure it's that much of a difference. I think the optical is easier to see, but you don't see what you're actually getting before you take the picture, and obviously there's no focus peaking and all those things, so there is that difference. I think that's the main bulk of questions answered. Better focusing, battery life is worse, but everything else feels pretty superior to me. I didn't miss any shots. I was shooting at f3.5 or 3.2 or something like that, but I love the way that I've been doing this for like 2 years now, and I still don't even know, because I've just been using f1.8 and below, so anything above that I'm kind of like 3 point something. But yeah, other than that, for me, vastly superior. I prefer everything about it, to be honest with you. I will definitely upgrade it at some point when better technology comes out with regards to the electric viewfinder, because it's not perfect, but the functionality that it gives is so far ahead of optical that, to be honest, the only thing that it falls back on is low light focusing and noise in low light. However, you've got more dynamic range, so you can shoot darker and then just bring it back, so that's not really an issue. You just have to change the way you shoot. And focus speed for sports. Those, I think it's mainly based around focusing for low light and speed. That's basically what optical still has, a pretty hefty advantage in. But if you're doing portraits or landscape or anything like that, I think you're crazy not going to Sony. Other than that, that's my views. Quick, just shy of 10 minutes roundup of what I think. If you've got any questions, just drop me a comment below and I'll get back to you. Cheers, guys.